Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of r slash. I'm not going to read from the title because it is pretty self-explanatory, but let's get right into it. On April 2013, I was home for Easter break from university. I had my own bedroom and bathroom in the house, but I shared the kitchen with my parents. It was late evening, and I was making some ramen noodles in the microwave. My mom was in the living room watching TV. She never watches anything interesting, so I didn't pay much attention to what was on the television. As I turned around with my food, I noticed that the TV was tuned to a channel that I had never seen before. It was analog and snowed in most of the screen, but I could make out three distinct things. There was a man sitting down in a chair. He looked to be in his early 40s, and he was wearing a plain white shirt. There was nothing on the walls behind him or around him, just like a blank white studio. The only other thing I remember seeing was what looked like an old wooden door in the background behind his right shoulder. It wasn't a soundproof booth or anything like that, just an old wooden door. Then there was a woman standing up in the foreground of the picture. She was very attractive and dressed very provocatively. She was either extremely drunk or high, because she was swaying all over the place and couldn't really stand upright. She kept trying to sit down on the man's lap, but he would move away every time she tried. Also, they didn't appear to be related. The whole time this was happening, the man kept looking at the camera with a look of utter disgust and revulsion. I continued to watch this channel for about 5 minutes, and this was all that happened. Then the show just ended and went back to the analog snow. I've never been able to find that channel since. We have cable TV, but it's digital, and I live in a different city now, so it's very unlikely I'll ever see it again. It was really weird, though, because we get a lot of channels, but none of them were like that. There wasn't anything else on any of our channels that night, except for the normal programming. And I was certain that I had never seen that channel before, because if I did, I would have remembered. It was something about the way that the man was looking at the camera like he was staring straight into my soul, which terrified me, because I felt like he was aware that I was watching him and he knew exactly what was going on. And although I was scared, I couldn't look away. It was almost like I was transfixed by what I was seeing. It's also strange how the woman would try to seduce the man, and he would respond with such hatred. It made me feel uncomfortable just watching it. And I felt terrible for the guy, because even though he was clearly repulsed by the woman, he still acted like a gentleman and didn't do anything to her. And when I say that he didn't do anything to her, I mean he literally just moved away whenever she got close to him. It was like the female version of a flea that won't bite the dog. But this has left me with a few questions. Like, why was the set so barren? Why was there only the man in the white shirt? Where was the woman getting all of that weed or alcohol from? How come I can't remember the channel number? And most importantly, was he trapped in another dimension, or was he being held against his will? Anyway, if you found this story helpful, please leave a like. If you think I deserve it, subscribe if you want more stories like these.